I'll give an introduction of myself. My name is Wilfred Mwiti. I am a senior business analyst for Upstack America LLC. That is the mother of the Kenya Airlift Program, where I also work as a business development manager. So my work is basically to get business for the company. And that is why when I thought of that I was to be in Kenya, the first thing that hit my hand was how we can organize some one-on-one sessions. Welcome. Yeah. How we can organize some one-on-one sessions with prospective students, especially because I know this is a journey that I've been there. And if there's any person who would be in a better position to explain and be able how the journey looks like, it's me. In the virtue that I was a guinea pig in the program. I was the first person to join the program when it started, and I'll give a story about that. Yeah, so about myself, as I've said, my name is Wilfred Mwiti. I just graduated from the University of Alabama in a city called Huntsville City in Alabama. And Huntsville is the rocket city of the US. That is where the rockets are made. Our school has so much research when it comes to issues to do with space science. So that has been my journey. And I'll give a story. Maybe most of you know Bob Mwiti, who is director of the program. I remember my engagement with Bob Mwiti was through my dad. He doesn't come far from my village. So my dad, they used to know each other. So they would have some talk here and there. And for some reasons, my dad felt that this is the right person who would mentor me. And he would keep on prevailing upon me to go and meet Bob Mwiti. And I succumbed to the pressure from my dad. And I started disturbing Bob Mwiti, requesting him to have a session with me, a meeting with me. And finally, it happened that one day he responded to me and told me, you know what, you can come to my hotel room. He was staying in one of the hotels in Meru. It's called the Meru Slopes Hotel. So I went there, we sat down, and he posed the question to me, how can I help you? I mean, this is a question that looks so simple, but this is one of the hardest questions that you can get from someone. Like, how can I help you? How do you answer the question from someone of Bob's caliber? I didn't ask for transport back home or asked him to buy me drinks or something of the sort. I had a long-term perspective about whatever I wanted for my life, because the time we met with him, I was working. I was newly from school, working in one circle in Meru, where I used to earn 15,000 every month. And life was moving. I would go back after work and eat from my mother's home and my father's home, sleep there. And the comfort zone was quite warm. I didn't have to struggle a lot or stretch a lot, but I wasn't comfortable about the comfort zone that I was into. So that is why I was looking for opportunities that could serve as the basis of taking me to the point where I would accomplish my goals in life. So we went, and I told him, you know what, I would like you to help me to be where you are today. I didn't know he was working on a framework or a skeleton of a program. That time it was called the Scholars Program. We didn't have so many. I was actually the first person, I think, in the Scholars Program before other people joined us. And that time, we didn't have the schools that we are having today. We didn't have the courses that we have today. In fact, the only course that Bob was recommending or suggesting that the students who join the program would do is MBA, Master of Business and Administration. And I think his inclination to MBA was because of the fact that he did himself MBA in professional accountancy at the Indiana University of Pennsylvania in Pennsylvania State. So I'm in this plan. That's how I found myself in this plan. Just because I just wanted to go to the US. I didn't care. I was ready to do that MBA. And we got a school for me that we were pursuing, an MBA at the school. It's a school in Florida. Bob was recommending schools which were within Florida because that's where he stayed. So he got me a school in West Palm Beach, not far from Trump's home, Mar-a-Lago. So we got a school there, South University, West Palm Beach. And later, the program would metamorphosize, like keep changing. Until now, is like, I think we can try another school apart from, instead of this South University in West Palm Beach. So I just get myself in another ship. And he was like, let's try a school called Missouri Southern State University in Missouri State. I started researching about the school. Then came an idea, let's try Eastern Oregon University in Oregon State. I started researching the school. And then, the program was evolving. And being a guinea pig is quite crazy because you find yourself in so many plans. You think this is the final plan that is taking you to the US. And out of the blues, another plan comes. Because being a guinea pig means that there is no information. You guys are trying to build up something. You're not even sure that this thing is going to work. But I trust in the process, and I'm like, let's keep changing. At the end of the day, the idea of the US is still deep inside my heart. So we changed to Eastern Oregon University. We start considering other schools. And then comes another plan. Now, it's not just about looking for schools to go. You have to sit for GMAT. GMAT wasn't there initially. You have to sit for GMAT. And I'm there, I started preparing, I get the materials. We used to photocopy those materials around River Road. So, and then, because we are very few, we will send them to the specific areas where the students who joined were located. So we started revising for GMAT. And Bob is like, GMAT is like high school maths. So you need to pass this thing. I'm like, is high school maths? I don't have to struggle a lot. Furthermore, I earned an A- in my KCSE. So I'm smart enough. If this is high school maths, I've already done my degree in economics and statistics. I have done accounting. This cannot be an elephant in the house. This is something very small. So I started lightly revising, lightly preparing for the exam. And then came the D-Day. We were 6. Remember, I joined the program. I was the only person. Then, by the time we were doing the examination, the other student too joined the program. And we sat for the examination, 6 of us. And I remember when we sent him the results, he was like, I hope this is not a Fool's Day prank. I had performed dismally. Under 410, and got a 410. I think the lowest among those people that, those other students that we sat with, is only one student who passed the exam, because the pass mark was a 550. So this student managed to get a 550, exactly a 550. Her name was Elsie Kagweria. Elsie now would leave me and go to the University of South Florida. I'm now struggling. I'm not like sure even if I'm gonna try this thing again. So Elsie boards a flight, and when I saw her boarding the flight, I felt like demoralized, because I'm like, I started the journey before this person. So she went to the University of South Florida to do business analytics and information management. And I'm like, I'm gonna try this thing. I'm not sure if I should try this thing again. Let me evaluate, let me take a break and invoke my deep senses and see whether it's worthy trying it again. And after 3 months, I'm like, the way we do things, like when something becomes tough, like an exam, you just say like, furthermore, it doesn't define my life. An excuse that we try to create inside ourselves so that we can run away from the realities of life. So that's what happened to me. I'm like, furthermore, this thing doesn't have to define my life. And then 3 months, I get a call from Bob Mwiti. Since I failed, we never spoke. We never spoke. And I'm like, I don't know, so maybe he doesn't want to talk to me. I don't want to talk to him. And then 3 months later, I get a call from him. And he's like, do you know you're supposed to be in the US next year, this specific timeline? It caught me thinking, like, there's someone outside there who thought that I shouldn't be in the US. But I'm taking a back step, thinking that the journey was curtailed. I think that brought a lot of force inside me.
You're watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, presented to you by Upstack America. Upstack America is a consulting company that helps immigrants find amazing higher education and job opportunities in the tech industry in the United States. You can find our programs by going to www.upstackamerica.com. Upstack America, we wake you up to the unlimited potential within you.
I stood up, I dusted off, and started working again in preparation for this exam. That was, he called me around, I think, September, October there. I registered for the examination, and my exam was scheduled to be done on 27th of January, that is 2020. I went, sat for the examination, and when I just completed the exam, because you are able to see the results, immediately you click the submit button, you're able to see the results. I just saw something so amazing. It was a very exciting gift package for the new year. And scored well, I got a 580 out of 800. I stayed in the Wall of Fame for some time, because before a new generation of students came and removed us from the Wall of Fame, because we got students who started getting 600, 700. We have 2 students who have got 700. So my score was no longer relevant for the Wall of Fame. But it was good at that time, because we set the pace for these students. So another thing that motivated me to work on towards my examination was a friend of mine and brought in the program. His name was Kelvin Ongaga. He's currently at Illinois State University pursuing information systems. So when I took the break, Kelvin went back and immediately starting working again on how he can correct the areas that I may fail in GMAT. Well, I was just relaxing outside there with no haste. So Kelvin, within a short duration of time, he went and sat for GMAT and got a 620, the highest at that time. And I'm like, I'm the one who brought this guy the program in the first place. There's no way he can leave me in Kenya. I have to do everything possible to pass this thing. And me, when I get to that level, it becomes so competitive. Like I started working, seriously working. And in a span of few months came the glory. So that was the journey that we end. And by getting a 580, it became the baseline of a good package of other things, because I got admission to the University of Alabama in Huntsville, one of the best universities, I think, that I can think of. I know we have Harvard there, but in the standards of the universities that are state universities, the school is good. So I get an admission to the University of Alabama in Huntsville. As I said, this is a very nice school. It's in a very nice location. If you have ever thought about rocket science, that is where all these things happen. It has a lot of collaboration with NASA. There is a space center there around the school. It's one of the most funded schools by the National Science Foundation in the US. National Science Foundation usually funds scientific and technological ventures in the US. So this is one of the highest funded schools. It doesn't have a huge population of students like a school like USF, where you find the population is over 60,000. The school has slightly above 10,000 students. But it gets more funding even than big schools like USF because of those scientific engagements. It's Huntsville City, as I said, is the rocket city in the US. It's nicknamed the rocket city in the US. Within the school, also there is the second largest research parks in the US, which is also the fourth largest parks in the world. So it's in a technological area. It's not like in a bubbly city like New York or something of the sort, but these are small cities which own the future, especially in technology. So I get admission there. Now my mind is focused on this University of Alabama in Huntsville. I think even before I relocated and went to the University of Alabama in Huntsville, I knew some locations in the school. I would just go and search and get to know how does this area look like at the school. So I got admission there. I'm lucky to get a graduate fellowship award. The school is very expensive. It's one of the most expensive schools in the program because the cost of study is around 5 million Kenyan shillings per year. But I didn't pay anything of the sort. It's something that I'm going to tell you how I went by, how I navigated through. So I get this graduate fellowship award. Before I relocated, I also get a graduate assistantship award where I was assigned. The graduate assistantship award is majorly you are assigned to work with professors to assist them deliver certain concept or deliver their classes to undergraduate students. So sometimes I would grade undergraduate students. And sometimes, even with my D%, I would go and try to teach some of the undergraduate students. Our school is traditionally, historically a white school. So I get there, I get this assistantship. And before then, I got a student loan to go to the school. But now, I've got an assistantship. The student loan covers for your entire cost of standing and living expenses. But now when I go to the school, the school has already, the lender has already disbursed finances to cover for my cost of standing and living expenses in the US. But when I get to the school, when you get assistantship at the school and many other schools in the US, you don't pay much of the tuition like other students. So my assistantship was half. It was not full assistantship. So I was working at the school. Half assistantship means that you are supposed to work at the school for 10 hours every week. And the following semester, my professor comes and tells me, you know what, we have approved you for full assistantship. Full assistantship means that I was actually paying nothing at all for my cost of standing and living expenses. In fact, the school was now paying me for my living expenses. So what happened in the first semester, out of the 5 million that I've told you that someone could end up potentially paying per year, which is like 25,000 every semester to cover for your cost of standing and living expenses, out of that huge sum of money, I was only supposed to pay $3,000. So what happens is that I don't need the loan. I return the rest of the money to the lender. I don't want your loans. I'm certain. So life picks up. But, you know, it's a journey. Because I remember, as I've said, being a guinea pig is not something easy. Because when I was going to the University of Alabama in Huntsville, I didn't know any Kenyan there. There was no Kenyan student that I knew there. There was no student under the program who was at the school. So what happens? You find yourself, you don't even have accommodation. You're going to a place where you don't know where you're going to be staying. So my professor gets concerned and he sends 2 students who comes and pick me at the airport. I don't even know. When I landed from Florida, because we spent some day there with students who are part of the program, we used to go to Florida before now students could go to their specific schools. We go there, we go for many activities around Florida. Bob was organizing all this for the students. So because the number at that time was not so huge as it is now, we would go to his home. And then later we would get some resort for students where they would spend some quality time, like a taste of America, a good taste of America before you even get to your school. So we go there. We are with some of the students. They are going to Illinois State University. I think like 3 of them, they were going there. At least it was a group. But I'm the only person who is going to this school. I don't know what I'm supposed to expect there. So I get lightly dressed. I board the flight from Florida to Alabama. And then the moment I land, I just get my feet out of the flight. I feel like someone is hitting my bones with a shocker. It's so cold. So cold. A severe winter. It was a severe winter in Huntsville, a situation that has never been experienced before in the city.
You've been watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, brought to you by Upstack America. Come back next time to hear more steps and missteps that I took on the path to becoming a successful immigrant in USA. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn.